It's day 2 of the Dale Warner murder trial. I'm Melissa Andrews, a crime and investigative reporter who's covering the murder trial of Dale Warner. He's accused of killing his wife, Dee Warner, in 2021 and then sealing her inside a fertilizer tank on his property where she was found 3 years later. So this is part 2. Now, after lunch, the prosecutor asked the judge to release Zach Bach from sequestration. So prior to testimony, witnesses are not allowed to watch anyone else's testimony or read anything about the case. Basically, the prosecutor is asking for Zach Bach to be released from that now that he has testified. And they went back and forth on this, but apparently there's a Michigan law where you are considered a victim. Obviously he is, having lost his mother. And then after your first testimony, you're released. So he can now be watching the case with his family members and talking to whoever he needs to about it to deal with the situation. After that, Austin Hall, Lenawee County Sheriff's Office deputy, we meet him. He is the first officer to start investigating Dee Warner's disappearance. So he meets with Dee's children on Sunday, April 25th. He did a phone ping for Dee's cell phone and went to Dee's home around 6 p.m. This is Sunday. He talked to Dale. He was wearing a body cam. And you may have seen this in some of the documentaries where they walk up to Dale and he's on like this gravel area in front of like a big barn looking thing. That's this body cam. This is where jurors are hearing from Dale for the first time. This is where they're hearing words out of his mouth. Dale tells the deputy he's not sure if she left or not, says she got into an argument with employees and she was going to kill herself. Then he says she had COVID, migraines, calmed down and passed out on the couch. Got up around 6 and she was snoring away. One thing that I did notice about this was he was kind of like a ping pong ball, going from, she was going to kill herself. She had COVID. She had migraines. She calmed down. Then she passed out on the couch. It was just it felt all over the place. And he was talking a lot and rapidly. I mean, this is just an observation from someone in the gallery. He got up around 6. She was snoring. Her makeup, hairdryer, and go bag were all gone. Wasn't very concerned. So apparently she kept a bag where she would just, when she wanted to get out of there for a day or two, it was ready to go. He says she's with somebody somewhere. She put her wedding ring on my desk. He told the other kids she has a phone and she doesn't know that I know about this phone. I'm looking at the children now, and I can tell they're getting frustrated listening to this. He says she locks her car and she's very secretive. She doesn't want anyone to know where she's at. So during this time, exasperation is showing. And I look over and a couple of the jurors are looking at Dee's kids. So they're noting, here's the kid's reaction to what he is saying. And then he did with 2 deputies that we saw today on body cam. He made small talk with them, a lot about, oh, you know so-and-so, I know so-and-so. To me, I clocked that. The deputy files a report to the sergeant when leaving. He next worked on Wednesday, so this is where we see Detective Kevin Greca for the first time, who was the deputy the former detective who was arrested by the U.S. Marshals for allegedly fleeing testimony here. So this is the first time we see him. And we're not seeing him on the stand, though. We're seeing him in these body cam videos. So now we're looking at body cam of Detective Greca. On April 26th, he's in the kitchen with Dale. Dale says that Dee got into it with a couple of drivers. Terry with a Y has a brother named Todd. Terry with a Y is the driver, and he's with Terry with an I, okay? Dee called Terry with a Y out for not paying her. Terry, I, had his phone, and it all went south. So it seems like here Dale is pointing the investigator toward Terry and Terry, talking a lot about how they had bad conflicts. And she was also mad at Dale for not backing her up because she told Terry with a Y to get rid of Terry with an I. So then Terry, I, and Dee get into a text fight regarding Xanax because of that Xanax text I told you about. He says, Dale, I could tell by the tone in her voice I was going to get an ass chewing. Why are you telling employees I was on Xanax? Dee was mad. She says, we're done. This was off the wall. He talks about an argument that they had, and she was coming down with a migraine so bad she couldn't talk or see, let her sleep on the couch. This was the night before then. And she was snoring at 6 a.m., texted her, she didn't answer. Again, he's talking nonstop. He says her curling iron's gone, makeup bag, hair dryer gone, and the getaway bag. And then he slips in, when she drinks way too much. He said, I wouldn't be surprised if she bought something else and put it in a bottle. At this time, I looked at the children again. They were shaking their heads, and the jury was looking at the children reacting to this. So he's saying that he thinks that Dee's on drugs. Again, this is where with Detective Greca, he's bringing up, oh, you know so-and-so, I know so-and-so, trying to relate to him. Then he said, and I think all in the media are looking for more clarification. He said at one point, you know, we built an empire together, but then they had bought a 1,500 acre vegetable farm, and it nearly bankrupted us, lost 20 to 25 million. He also says, you know, my wife is bipolar. I think she has mental problems. Again, the jurors are looking at the children. Then he says she's in denial. I don't know if she wants attention. I know she wouldn't have an affair. I told her we're going to be together for better or for worse. I've been through one divorce, and I sure as hell don't want to go through another one. So I felt like a lot of that was, again, throwing out theories. Then we see another body cam back to Officer Hall. Dale says he last saw her. He was the last one to see her at 6 a.m., talks about the millions of dollars lost again, talks about calling hospitals to check on her. Another video with Greca talks about the various properties and the acreage. He's getting a list of all those probably so he can go check them. Another instance, a semi was running and Dale was inside. I'm going to show you a picture. Okay, so this is the picture that was shown. Greca and Hall were here. Dale was spraying the ground in the barn and asked detectives to leave the barn because he was spraying with chemicals. And this was on the 429 body cam. And look what's back there. They didn't say it's the tank, but you can see it is a tank. And in another body cam interview, Dale says he was spraying, putting in tile with Jaron and Brian. Talked to Dee around the time of the soccer game, Lena's soccer game, Saturday morning. She was giving him a guilt trip because he wasn't going to the soccer game. Dee is confronting him about telling the help about her taking Xanax. Said, we're fucking selling everything. We're done. Wouldn't answer the phone anymore. Thought that, well, Dee did go to Amber's. When he saw her, she had been trying. Angelina and Dale went out and did chores. So they were going to go to the other farm and check on some steers. He said, I was going to make burgers. Dee asked Dale if he knew that Terry quit today. Remember that Terry, the truck driver. Dale had gone down to Findlay on Saturday. Dee had a migraine and took 3 pills. He was rubbing her back and calming her down, picked her up, tucked her in on the couch, and then talks about Dee having a secret phone. Don't forget, court is not in session on Monday because it's a national holiday, and on Tuesday we start at 9 a.m.